Hello. Okay, so I'm back again, and today I probably won't be reading anything more, but I will talk a little bit about the status on my isekai story. The reason I won't be reading anything is mainly due to time constraints. I have managed to clean away some things on my schedule that have been eating a lot of time lately, but it's gotten a little bit later in the day than I had maybe hoped, or rather that would have been ideal for doing this. So I won't be reading anything more today, maybe tomorrow, but I will be talk a little bit about where I am in the story, or with the story, and basically I did want to talk a little bit about it, and the reason is that I think I said last time that I was working what I called part 2, and I'd written some elements of that story, and was working on sort of connecting the pieces together. And now I can say that I am happy to be able to say that I have more or less written the entire part 2 of the story. There is some things I might add to the end. I have sort of one scene that I probably should add to the end before I say that this is the end. And that's because it will introduce another character. There's a horse potential party member that I also would like to have join the party, but I'm not quite certain if I should do that at the same time or whether I should wait a little bit. I'll have to think a little bit about it, but I do want to add at least one character that sort of fits at the point in the story I have gotten to. But I did manage to solve the problems that existed in the story. At least I hope I was able to do so. It's difficult to know, really, but I am fairly satisfied myself. I do sort of worry that the things that happen might not quite be the climax that one might have hoped for, but I think overall it's I think it works well enough. I think that's the most pragmatic thing I can say about it. It does add another party member, probably one that won't be saying much, but most of the time. But we'll see, I guess. And the final outcome of this this thing that I have written so far is that things are basically leading up to the third part, and the events that will need to happen there, and the ending that I had originally thought of. I did expand a little bit on that ending also. Earlier today, I guess I did manage to solve one problem that I have been thinking of, which is related to the I'm not sure if fate is the correct term, but is one of the main characters that upon fighting a major enemy does end up in a quite let's say difficult, unfortunate situation, and I wasn't quite certain how to solve that. I had sort of several things, but I think perhaps what I ended up with was it's probably not the optimal solution, but I think it works quite well, and it did give me some fun things to write in regards to the final character that I want to be adding in this part 2 of the story. At least I thought they were funny. I don't know what other people think, but basically this means that I now have a part 1, a part 2, and I have at least thought about some things that might happen in a part 3. And if I manage to finish part 3, I think I'll have what I will call book 1 finished. And the reason why I call it book 1 is that since the at least the temporary title I'm working with is how I reprogram the magical system of an isekai world or something like that, and so far, or rather at the point where the third part of the first book will probably end, he as in the protagonist hasn't really gotten around to doing much in the way of reprogramming the magical system of the world yet, so presumably there will be more volumes where other things happen that to a great extent align with that. But I do have the basic elements that I need for writing the last part, at least some of it. I don't really know how all the details will play out. I'm a little bit wary of over planning the third part of the story. There is some room for the story going in many directions, but I think perhaps that I know some pieces, and I'll have to think about the rest, but I think perhaps there's a danger of sort of trying to create this really well-designed and well-planned out story, and then risk not being able to do anything. So I do think that I would like to have this nice ending to the story, or at least the first part of the story, but we'll see what happens. I feel like there's some room for making this part 3 quite long. There could be room for making quite a lot of things happen. And one reason for this is that with multiple characters and really rather increasing number of locations and so on, there are many places the story can go, many things that can happen. And it would have been nice to be able to write something that lives up to that potential, but I guess I'll just have to try to do the best what I can within the restraints that exist, but we'll see. I'll probably just do it the way I have done so far, just start to write and then see what happens. But there is some potential for having a long story arc in this location, which I'd plan to put the third part in, and that's of course Belrock, the mage country. There are things happening there that will require the attention of the hero's protagonist, and hopefully he will be able to travel there and do something good. The last fight, the climatic ending of the this part 3 that I'm talking about, I sort of have thought out. The main problem, I guess, is that need to get this story going. Of course, there's efficient hooks in the part 2 of the story that I have just finished for it to be possible for the characters to start on the part 3 journey, but I don't really know exactly how I'm going to handle it. So something to think about, without a doubt. I am curious to see how it goes. But I think perhaps I'll end it there. I did manage to talk a little bit about what the current status is, and maybe tomorrow I'll be able to read a little bit more. And since I have gotten a lot of the chatting on this topic out of the way, at least the way things are now, I think trying to progress the story a little bit would be nice. Concentrate on the reading from the story, and then trying to keep going for a while. I think that's what I'm going to do. But for now, I think I'm going to call it a day, and thank you for listening, and goodbye.